Hola, mi gente. Welcome back to another IG Live. So, today we're going to be talking about how to use TikTok to build your business. So, let's do this. Super excited. I'm going to put a comment here. How to use TikTok for your business. And we're going to bring on our guest in just a minute. And let's pin this. Guys, you guys are so cute. Thank you. I try, this is the only time I get dressed up for y'all. Hey, girl.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Super, super excited for this conversation.
I am too. I've been looking forward to this all Monday.
Absolutely. So, let's start off with you introducing yourself.
Sure. So, hi everyone. By the way, you look fabulous right now. I
Thanks,
love the
Cruz.
lipstick. I love the whole vibe.
Thank you.
So who is Erika? I am a self-discovery coach as well as a TikTok coach. And 12 months ago, I was working a 9 to 5 tech job that I absolutely hated, didn't know what I was really doing. But TikTok really changed the game for me, and it brought a lot of opportunities that have allowed me to create and launch a group coaching program. I have since left my 9 to 5, and now I help other badass Latinas align with their purpose through mindfulness and mindset, as well as help people launch their careers through TikTok the way that I did.
Girl, so much to unpack in that like 5-second elevator pitch. Okay, hold on. Let me first say that I was the biggest skeptic of TikTok for the longest. I was just like, this is nonsense. I'm not learning a new social media platform. But
Mm-hmm.
then I see and meet people like you and people like my friend Eliane and people who like have created these ridiculous followings on TikTok and have been able to literally build businesses. So I take it back. Skeptic has been I've seen the light. Okay. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
talk about first off, what about TikTok made you like want to focus on that platform?
I was skeptical as well. I had a mentor tell me like, "Hey, I think you should get on this platform." And like I downloaded it, and when you first download it, all you see is dancing, a bunch of kids, especially at that time because this was right at the end of 2019. So, pandemic hadn't happened. There wasn't a huge diversity of folks on the app yet. I was skeptical myself. So I actually created my first video and it got like 500 views. And I was like, are these people real? Because I get like 500 views on Instagram and I have like 7,000 followers there. So it was confusing to me. And then I posted another video and it got like no views. So I really didn't know what I was doing. And I kind of took a break, and it wasn't until 2020 that I started to post a little more consistently because what happened was I began to consume more content. And the more I consumed, the more I started to see the value in the platform. And I will preface this with one thing. I always knew that video was kind of a strength for me because it was what I did in my tech job. I did all of our voiceovers, I created a bunch of videos for us. And I thought, okay, if I'm doing this for a job I could care less about, why not do it for myself? And I knew that we were moving to video. And I just kept coming across people that were like, I started a month ago and now I'm at 30,000 followers, or I started a month ago and now I'm at 1 million followers. Just these crazy things that you would never hear on other platforms. And that's when I thought, like, okay, I better take this like a little more serious. And sure enough, I created one video talking about how I felt like I was too old to be on TikTok, and it blew up. It got like 60,000
Of
views.
course.
I ended up with 12,000 followers, and I was like, what am I going to do with these people? I don't even know what I'm doing. I was kind of between transitioning from being a food blogger to becoming a yoga instructor. So I was like, I guess I could do yoga content on there. And I was like, I don't really know how I'm going to do that. So I was exploring with all different things before I actually found my thing on there.
Okay. So interesting. And yeah, I feel like when it comes to TikTok, I haven't figured out like how to go viral. Um, can you give us some insight into like what actually goes viral on TikTok?
Yeah, so there's a few different things that can go viral. So if you follow trends, that's one way to go viral. But nobody wants to see the same video over and over and over. So you know how there was like the flip the switch challenge and things
Mm-hmm.
like that? The ones
Yeah.
that ended up going viral from that were people that did something unexpected at the end. or they added their own twist to it to really make it different. If you were just seeing the same thing over and over, it was kind of like, okay, what, there's no novelty here. So the trick is, if you're going to jump on a trend, get on it early. So if a trend has already been going on for a week or 2 weeks, you've missed the boat. You have to be quick on TikTok because things will just come and go. So that's one way to use trends and leverage trends. So, and I feel like you do such a good job at that. You're so good at taking like a trending sound and then you make it relevant for your audience on the topic about money and things like that.
Well,
and
thank
business.
you. I appreciate that because I feel like I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
No, you're killing it. You're doing great. So another thing that can go viral on TikTok is sounds. So if you use trending music, that could be also another way that you can go viral. So when I don't know what song to pick, I go to the viral playlist on there and I pick one song. And if it doesn't really go with the vibe, I just put the volume all the way down. But at least it registers that song. And because the human brain really works in an interesting way. Like, you know, when you first hear a song, you don't really like it, but then you keep hearing it and next thing you know, you're singing it.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason that TikTok has done so well is because it does combine like music with messaging and like all of these different things. And when our brain gets used to hearing a song, and it gets stuck in your head and you start, you know, kind of saying it over and over in your head. When you see one of those posts, you're more likely to watch it if it's like a song that's been stuck in your head. This is my own theory based on like my own like life experience and what I've read. This has nothing to do with TikTok. So trending music would be another one. Something else that can trend is effects. So they have different effects on TikTok, like green screen effect. And when the thing is, because I worked in tech for so long, I understand this from the perspective of like developers and engineers. When they've created a new feature, they want to promote it, right? Because they want to show people that there's this new feature. So if you can be an early adopter when it comes to new technology features on the app, you're more likely to end up on what's called the Discover page, which is kind of like the Explore page on Instagram, except the Discover page is the same for everybody on TikTok. So it's kind of where they make all of their announcements. It's where you see the trending hashtags. It's where you see trending music and then trending effects. So another thing that can trend is hashtags. But hashtags are interesting because there's a lot of things that go viral that don't even use a hashtag. So there's like no real... Hashtags are tricky on TikTok. It's not leveraged in the same way as it is on Instagram, because on Instagram, you could follow a hashtag or you could go search for a hashtag. You can search for a hashtag on TikTok, but the way that it works there is a little different. And I kind of have to explain how TikTok works in order to explain this. But TikTok is all about content discovery, meaning that you don't have to go onto the app and have thousands of followers in order for thousands of people to see your video. It's what makes TikTok so appealing, that you can go on, post one video, have that one video go viral, and next thing you know, you have a following. No other platform does that, where they take your content and then they push it out to a group of people that they think would be interested in it. But TikTok utilizes hashtags as one of those things. So they essentially use it to categorize your video so that they can understand where this video fits in. But your caption also counts as that as well. So it's not, even if you wrote, I'll give you an example. I ended up on the Discover page for hashtag wellness. I didn't even use the word wellness. I didn't use the hashtag wellness in my post, but in my video, I'm talking about small habits that make a big impact. And then I start talking about exercise, journaling, different things like that, just like little things you can do. So the algorithm is actually pretty smart to know how to categorize your video. So hashtags are used for categorization. And I'll give you another example. I've been doing this self-love challenge on TikTok, and I've been using the hashtag self-love. So now my For You page, the feed that I get is all about self-love. And different types of self-love. So now I'm getting that push to me because they're like, okay, Erika really is into this type of content because now she's posting about this a lot. And it could also just be February, right? That we're into this month of Valentine's Day. So it's going to kind of trend. I guess another thing would be, as you think about these holidays like Valentine's Day, you need to post your stuff weeks ahead, because if you wait until the day of, you've already missed the boat. Because the way that TikTok works is they decide which videos they're going to put onto that Discover page a couple of days before. And that team actually, my TikTok rep has told me this, they don't work on the weekends. So if you see something trending on the weekend, they've already picked the video like 2-3 days before of what's going to be on the Discover page.
Wow. So many insights.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, I have so many questions. First off, and you mentioned this, that TikTok is super unique in the sense that like you can literally go viral with like no followers, which I think is one of the appeals of people. How do the people on TikTok, like the users, the people that follow you, how do they differ from like users on other platforms? Because I feel like they're just a unique bunch of people that are on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked this question. So you have a group of people on Instagram that are considered like, you know, your followers or like friends, because at least when you first start off on Instagram, it's like people you know.
Right.
And it's so funny to me that the amount of comments and engagement I get from people on Instagram compared to TikTok is night and day.
Right.
And I think it has a lot to do with the algorithm. I think because TikTok is actually pushing out your content to people that would be interested in it, they actually leave really meaningful, insightful comments. Versus Instagram, yeah, maybe Sally and I went to school together in the 8th grade, but she doesn't give a shit about, you know, like purpose-driven Latina or like TikTok.
Right.
She's over there, you know, trying to like take care of her 4th child or something. You know, we're just kind of, and I think that's kind of maybe why, I think that's kind of why it does differ a little. But with that being said, I utilize both. Obviously, I'm still on Instagram, and it's a great place for me to connect with my followers. But what I will say is that both of the platforms serve different purposes. I use TikTok as kind of like my lead source, as a way to constantly bring in new people. And usually, if they like me enough, they follow me to Instagram as well. Right. And on Instagram is when I could actually have more of that DM relationship with people, because they see my stories, they just kind of get to know me on a more less curated level.
Yeah.
So I totally forgot what the question was, Janice. Can you remind me?
Oh yeah, no. So how do the people that hang out on TikTok, how are they better, or like how are they different, and how are they useful to you as a business owner? Because right, that's what we're talking about.
Yes. Yeah. So I really do think it has to do with the algorithm. I don't think, because I think most people that are on TikTok are probably on Instagram as well. But in my experience, I have connected with people that were exactly kind of who I was looking for. So when I first launched Purpose Driven Latina, I posted one video on TikTok. I had 40,000 followers at that point. I wasn't at 170,000 like I am right now. From that one video, I received 268 applications for my group coaching program.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, women from like all over the country, New York, Miami, Chicago, Texas, Washington, California, all over. Yeah. And had I done that on something like Instagram, only the people that were already following me would have seen it, because I actually did use the video there as well. So I think the biggest difference is on TikTok, they really are looking for authenticity more than anything. And the algorithm does such a good job at connecting you with the right people that in turn, it makes it feel like those people are real humans. Like I can't even explain it in a different way.
Yeah, no, I think I'm envisioning TikTok is literally like what email marketing is to a lot of people. It's the lead magnet that drives eyeballs onto your content that then you can monetize. And it sounds like the algorithm is intelligent enough to basically create or to direct the avatars, right? The people, your ideal customers, to you.
Yes.
Because of the content that you create and the way that people interact, it figures out like who wants to see you by, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, I'm just mind blown. Because I feel like there's so much emphasis placed on email marketing as a way to like get leads. And that takes so much work. Like putting together freebies, putting them on the right platforms, doing all this stuff when you can literally create like a 15-second video and you get, like you said, 200 something people signing up for a service. I've never heard of somebody being able to do that shit with an email.
Yeah. And it's, you know, and the thing is that we like, Oh my gosh.
There's so many
TikTok.
platforms.
TikTok could change, but what I've actually been able to do with TikTok is grow my email list. I didn't even know what an email list was in the context of like coaching and what it is that I'm doing now until 2020. And I've created maybe 3 videos on TikTok about uh, freebies that I have. So one of them is journal prompts for self-discovery. Another one is 10 tips to stand out on TikTok. And I have about 2,500 people on my email list from those few videos that I've made on TikTok, which is crazy. Like, how can you grow that quickly from, less than a 60-second video?
There's no way.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about content creation, right? Because it's just as important as everything else that we talk about when it comes to social media. And so you mentioned authenticity. How do you show up authentically online? Like, what the hell does that even mean?
I love this question because I think initially it's actually not super easy to show up authentically because to think that what we do is original is almost nonsense, right? Like at this point, we're in 2021. Everything is a remix. Everything is kind of inspired from either experiences we've had in life or things we've learned from other people or books that we've read. So I do think that at the beginning, it's going to be a little challenging because you're still finding out who exactly you are on social media. And in reality, I'm a self-discovery coach. So I find that this self-discovery journey is not, there's no destination. We are constantly evolving as we are, and because we have different life experiences that kind of come and go, those shape who we are as well. And I think that's the same on social. So like if you look at my style from the beginning to now, it's not exactly the same. I've kind of adapted as I've kind of learned what makes me happy and what doesn't make me happy. So with TikTok, I think Instagram has really trained us to look for perfection because it is like,
Talk about it.
yeah, there's, it can be, you can easily edit photos and work with angles, with lighting. And we almost have this fear of showing up as who we really are on other platforms because Instagram has done this thing for us.
Yeah.
And when I look at my most viral video on TikTok, I have one video that has 3.5 million views. I am wearing no makeup. I have my glasses on. My hair is like in a messy bun. My little curls are everywhere. I'm wearing a regular ass t-shirt. 3.5 million views. I didn't even script that video out. It was literally just, I got an impulse of like, I should make a video about that. I'm talking about how we should be grateful for the things that didn't work out because we never know what they're going to lead us to. Most popular video. And I'm literally just holding the phone with my messy bun, and it did so well. And then there's other videos where I'm like, oh, this is for sure going to do so well. I am fully made up. I've got the lashes on. My hair is actually like me peiné. And then it just flops. So what I find is,
shit, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, it so is. It really is. That doesn't mean I show up on every video now with like, a messy bun or anything like that. But it did teach me a lot in that the way that I was speaking in that video where my like it was a messy bun, I wasn't like trying to force anything. I was literally just explaining what I was very intentional with what the purpose was of that video. And I think that is what really matters. Like, what is your intention behind a video? Are you looking to like educate people, inspire people, make them like relate to you? And that is really what makes the difference. But if you look at most videos on TikTok, like people are not perfect looking. Like people want to see the real you. And I think the reason that this is so important is because humans have always been wired for human connection. And right now that we are in a pandemic, how do we do that? We do that through social media. And you're not going to connect with people that are perfect looking. You're going to connect with people that are showing you their flaws. And those are actually some of the videos that do the best, when people are like explaining some of their setbacks or like something silly that they did because it's like relatable. And those are the videos that just tend to do the best. So I think authenticity does take work because you can't force it. You just kind of have to allow it.
Yeah.
And so it does, I guess my advice to people is stop trying to be perfect because perfect doesn't exist. And like what is perfect for you isn't perfect for me. And what's perfect for us isn't perfect for somebody else, because perfect is an opinion, it's subjective, and it's constantly changing. So you really have to adapt to this mindset of done is better than perfect, and I'm going to show up the best that I can. And the people that are meant to find my content will find my content.
Yes, that is a super powerful message. And it goes way beyond TikTok, y'all. That's like
Yeah,
life. You need to show up as you, because what the hell else do you have an option to be? Okay. So
exactly.
that's a word for somebody. Now, there are people, and it's funny because one of the assignments that I gave my side hustle moguls was to open a TikTok account if they don't already have them and start putting themselves out there, right? Because there's nothing scarier as a new content creator than putting your fucking face on video.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you channel the confidence to even put yourself out there? Because that is something that a lot of my students are struggling with.
Yeah, it's such a good question. And confidence doesn't come from thinking, right? Confidence comes from doing and from taking action. And I really find that, especially on TikTok, you're gonna have to be okay with showing up not so confident. You're really gonna have to fake it till you make it at the beginning. But the moment that you start getting those comments from people, and you actually realize that you're impacting people's lives with your content, that's when it's kind of game over, because it no longer becomes about your own self-doubt or your own lack of confidence. It more becomes about the people that you're helping and that you're serving. And whenever you can really make that shift in focus, that's when it's game over, right? Because you're not even focused on the things that don't matter. You're focused on the people that are going to help you get to the next level, which are the people that follow you.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I got some students in here like, yes, I'm a newly created TikTok. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, let's talk more about hashtags, right? Because
Yeah.
I feel like I understand the hashtag game for things like Instagram and Pinterest and maybe even like Twitter, but like you said, some things go viral with no hashtags.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've heard the advice like sometimes use the viral ones even if they don't have nothing to do with your video. Then I've been told that don't do that. So like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and I wish I could give you like a straight answer.
Yeah.
But what I will say is you should for sure use hashtags. And my TikTok rep has told us not to use more than 5 hashtags, because then it could look spammy.
Okay.
So I always pick 5. And I've played around with that, like picking a hashtag that's trending. And even if it's like not really related, I wouldn't suggest using all the trending hashtags. Just pick maybe one. But there's also a debate between like hashtag FYP, hashtag for you page,
Yeah.
which is one of the most common ones that's used, or like hashtag viral, and
Right.
how those don't accurately categorize your video, so they shouldn't be used. But I'll tell you that some of my viral videos have those hashtags in it. So it's, I can't give you a definitive answer, but what I can tell you based on what the TikTok rep has told me is don't use more than 5, and try to use relevant hashtags, because even though not everybody's like out searching for hashtags, some people will do that.
Mm.
Because it's mainly content discovery, so the content is being pushed out to you. If you're using like hashtag, for example, I use a hashtag mindfulness a lot, or self-discovery a lot, which means people that consume other mindfulness or self-discovery content, the algorithm knows like, okay, Susie over here likes this type of content, so let's throw Erika's videos in front of her because she seems to like it. So that's why it's
Yeah.
important to use some of those relevant hashtags. But like I mentioned, your entire caption is kind of like SEO. And
Mm.
so is the text that you use on your videos. So if you are putting the text in within TikTok, that's really helpful, because the algorithm is reading the text. And even if you don't add a hashtag hustle, but you have hustle written down in your actual video, whenever Susie's like all about the side hustle,
Oh, yeah.
whenever she's looking in those side hustle videos, and it's like, okay, let's throw Janice's video in front of her and see if she likes that.
Wow. Oh my God. Like my mind is being blown by the second. I have so many thoughts. Cause yeah, when you're talking about like finding the right hashtag, it reminded me a lot of being a blogger and making sure you're finding like key phrases and optimizing for SEO. So it sounds like it's probably better for you to pick like a niched hashtag versus something super general. because then it's going to target people way more precisely than just like you mentioned for your page.
Yeah. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And I'm not sure if you're going to ask about this, so you can tell me to be quiet
No,
if
go
you
for it.
are.
Tell
But
us everything.
the real factor when it comes to going viral or having a video perform well, it's actually the retention and the watch time.
Mm-hmm.
So TikTok doesn't really value the amount of likes and the amount of comments you get, because we could be following one another, and as soon as your video comes up, maybe I like it, but I'm like, oh, I'm not going to watch it. I'm just liking it to support you or something like that. But if I didn't watch the whole video through, does that mean that I actually was into the video? Not
Mm-hmm.
really, right? Like our behavior
Right.
shows a lot more. So TikTok really values, okay, what percentage of the video was watched? Did the person watch 50%? Did they watch the whole thing? And then they also really value shares, because we're not going to share content that's not good. And that's how things really start to go viral. So when people are watching the video all the way through, and when they are sharing it with their friends and family, because that means more views. And inevitably, that means you're going to get more likes and more comments because more people are seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that those two things are so important, totally lost my thought there. It just like flew away.
Okay. You're packed with info, girl. So I get it. No, but I understand what you're saying in that, it's just a matter of, literally just understanding like what is going to make people stick around.
Yeah. And that's, it came back to me. Thank you. The hook is so important. So the first, people will decide within the first 2 seconds if they want to watch your video.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start off, if you're treating TikToks the way that you treat your Instagram stories, you're losing people, because they need to be quick. If TikToks are 6 to 60 seconds. And if you don't catch people's attention within the first 2 seconds, you can say bye to those people, because they're not going to stick around.
Right.
That's why I always start a video off with like 3 reasons your Instagram isn't growing, or I don't actually make that type of video, or like 3 Netflix, what did I say? 3 Netflix recommendations to make you smarter. That was like actually a really good hook. That video has over 400,000 views. Mm-hmm. And then I've also, the one that's mega viral, the 3.5 million one that I'm like with the messy bun and no makeup. I started it off with like, can we please talk about, and then people want to know like, oh, what are we going to talk about? So there's different ways to do the hook, but really the first few seconds of your video matter more than anything, because that's when people decide if they're going to watch the whole thing.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like the hook that you would put on an Instagram post, right? Like that first line is like, are people going to read caption or not? It's very similar.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What else? I have so many questions. Okay. What are some things that can get you like shadow banned? Is that a thing or is it a myth?
You know, I don't know. I have to be honest. I don't know, because I think this is what's happening. I was growing very, very fast during when we were all in quarantine and shelter in place, and in California we still are, but between March and about August, that's when I had the most growth. Mm-hmm. Because I think there was an influx of people on the app.
Yeah.
And there was not that many creators. And I think a lot of people started to create during those months. So now we do have more creators. I still think it's the best place to grow, but I don't think we're growing as fast as we once were, because it's getting a little more competitive with how engaging your content is, right? It's when the hook really matters. It's when all of these other things actually begin to matter, because now there's more people creating this type of content. So I don't know. I've heard from people that it does exist, others that it doesn't. Personally, I haven't grown that fast, but I truly do believe that it's because of the influx of people that have started to create. And I've noticed that I have to get, like, my videos have to improve. I have to do better and do better and do better, or else they don't. And what used to go viral doesn't really go viral anymore. So we've asked my TikTok rep this, and she's like, nope, but it's like, it's not a thing.
Yeah.
But
who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe they're not telling
but I'm not sure. Exactly. Like, why would she tell me that
they wouldn't. So speaking of creators, so TikTok actually has a program, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so they have I have a couple of programs. So the way that I got involved with TikTok is through the Creative Learning Fund. They really wanted to push educational content. And I first got in contact with them when the pandemic had already started, but it was too early to tell it was going to be like an actual pandemic. I don't think it was even named a pandemic yet. So they started something called, the Creative Learning Fund, where they wanted to push educational content. Because what they found is that educational and valuable content is what tends to be shared more. And yeah, it actually just performs really well. So they were really trying to push that type of content. And that has since, I think, kind of closed. And then they've started the Creator Fund, the TikTok Creator Fund. And for that one, you need to have at least 10,000 followers in order to join. And you get paid by the views. So it's kind of like on YouTube, how you get ad revenue, but this one is a fund of, I don't remember exactly how much. I'm pretty sure it was in the billions. My guess is, because so many people are a part of it. And that program, I'm going to be completely transparent. Unless you have a ton of views, you're not going to make much from it, because we're talking about cents. I make a few cents a day, unless something blew up and I'm like, oh, there's like, there's $20 or something like that. I'm just throwing out numbers. Those aren't actually accurate. There's actually been a lot of talk about, since joining the Creator Fund, people's views have dropped. And I'm like, okay, well, that one makes a little sense to me, because if they are paying you based on your views, it would kind of make sense to have the views drop. But again, like everyone I've asked there is like, no, that's like, they'll never thing. Exactly. So I don't really know how to feel about that, but they do have a Creator Fund. I'm almost a little skeptical about it. And I have a second page, Purpose Driven Latina, and I do notice that it's easier for those things to kind of blow up than on my own page. So I don't know, I might leave it. I'll let you know. Yeah. I'll give you the scoop.
That's interesting. And so I think it just goes to show that, like, when it comes to the real monetization, it's not using social media in the traditional sense of just creating content. It's literally a marketing funnel. So if you're using social media for any type of shit that's not trying to drive somebody to come to spend money on something you're doing, like leading them away from social to your website or your course or something, you're wasting a lot of time. And so I want to talk more about like how you've been able to build this business because of TikTok. So tell me what that process was like for you.
Yeah. So the first thing I ever did where I was getting people off of the TikTok platform was I was looking for interns, and I ended up getting about 65 applications for this internship position, which was crazy. Like I would have never gotten this many applications by just putting it up on Instagram. And that's when I realized, okay, people take action from TikTok. So what I did whenever I started to create the coaching program is I created a few videos talking about what the program was going to do for people. And then at the end, I asked, okay, if this is something that's interesting to you, if you're interested in this, apply using the link in my bio. And that's how I would kind of get people off. And I just kind of started to get a little creative with how I created videos around the services that I was providing. It was pretty much like, it was pretty much inbound marketing, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with, but HubSpot is like the people that kind of lead this. So their whole theory is when you're providing valuable and helpful info to people, they are going to then trust you. And when you're ready to sell something and they're ready to buy, they're going to come to you. So my whole theory, because I started on TikTok before I had anything to sell. So I kind of worked backwards. I was just creating content that I really enjoyed creating. And then I was like, okay, what are we going to do with this? And I was like, oh, let's become a coach. I didn't even know what that was before this year. So everything that I knew I wanted to help people with when it came to my coaching program, or any issues that I saw that people were coming up with as I started to talk to people, I created videos on that. And I just started creating videos about their pain points, things that I knew, that like their current fears, their desires, their ideal life. And that is how, when I actually put out the videos about the group coaching program, people were applying and actually really interested. And they had not just seen that one video, they had been seeing a few other, at least, they had been consuming my content for at least a little while. So I think it's just such an effective way to put out information and to bring value to people that if you, and then there's also a big volume of people, because if we
Hmm.
look at the percentage of how many people converted, it actually wasn't a ton.
Yeah.
But because TikTok puts you out in front of so many people,
That
that's
want
when
your
you,
stuff.
exactly,
Hmm.
more people are likely to convert.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. And I think another question that I wanted to ask you was around damn it. Did I forget what I was going to ask you? Let me think about this for a second.
Hmm.
So we were talking about, okay, so your business. So can you tell me how much time it was from like when you did your first TikTok to like you quit your job because you built this following?
Yes, I started in 2020. That's when I actually started to create the videos. And then in August is when I launched my first program. So in July, I started to promote it. And in November of 2020, I left my job. Yeah, I know, not even a
Mind
year.
blown. Okay, I cannot even. And you
I
know,
will also say,
you're not the only person that I know that has been able to do this. So
yeah,
it's very possible, guys.
yeah. And I think what's so amazing about TikTok is I think it's great that I've been using it like a vessel, like my tool to sell my own services, which I think everybody should do, even if you don't have anything to sell right now, even an email list, because you don't own TikTok, right? But like, how
Right.
can you funnel people from TikTok to your email list? Create a freebie, offer it in a few videos, and start growing that email list. But what really was helpful within TikTok was just the crazy amount of opportunities that I've gotten from that. So I never thought I'd be able to work with universities, like large universities, but somebody from Harvard reached out to me and was like, "Hey, we really like your TikToks, and we'd like you to come lead meditation for our first gen group." And I was like, "How is this even?" I was like, "How'd you find me?" And she was like, "Yeah, through your TikTok." And I can't tell you how many emails I get that like, "Hey, I came across your TikTok," because the thing is, you never know who's watching.
This is true.
Yeah, and I've also had like crazy collaborations through TikTok. So Lavendare, who's she creates like self-help content on YouTube. She has like over 1 million followers. She's like one of my digital role models forever. We did like a TikTok collab. And then I also was on Amy Landino's podcast. She's the girl that's like all about productivity and time blocking.
Yeah.
She's like worked with Gary Vee, or she was in Gary Vee's book. That's actually how I learned about her. But I was on her podcast talking about TikTok when I had 12,000 followers. I didn't even know what I was doing yet. Like,
Yo, social's crazy. Like, let me tell you, I think it's just insane, like how you can literally build like a full-time income using social media. And I will tell y'all straight up, like, I'm not using TikTok to do that, but I'm definitely using other social media platforms to do the exact same shit. There is money to be made online. Like, don't get
mm-hmm.
it twisted. If you are the person that's using social just to like send DMs to people and like, you know, interact with your friends and family, you're missing the point. There is
Yep.
money to be made on these platforms. You just got to use them like marketing tools. That's literally what their whole mission is.
Yes, exactly. And I got my first brand deals as well. So like with one of them was with Acura, the car
Guess what?
company. And, no, but I have to tell you this because I know we don't have much time, so I'll make it super quick.
No, girl,
But
we could be here all day. I'm loving this conversation.
so I got the email and I was like, usually people I get a lot of random stuff. I get a lot of like, "Oh, will you post this for free, like in exchange for like free product?" And
No, we're
like,
not doing that.
yeah, don't do that. So if you're listening to this and people are like, don't, it's okay to feel special that they reached out to you, but like you need to value yourself
Yes.
and like be compensated financially. But I had somebody from an agency reach out to me and it was for Acura. And I was like, I've never heard of this cosmetic brand. I was like, Acura, I don't know. And I like Googled it and I was like, oh my God, Acura. Like I just
Oh,
couldn't even
shit.
believe it that it was possible that a car company could be reaching out to me about doing a collab. And I was like so blown away. So that was one that I did. And then another one, it actually hasn't gone live yet, but it's like with a skincare company that I actually use pretty regularly. And these were like some of my first brand deals that came up in actually last month in January. And it
All
was all
this
because of
TikTok.
TikTok.
It's crazy. All right, so we have some questions here, guys. If you have questions, definitely pop them into the Q&A section. We're gonna talk about some stuff here. Okay, so what is your thought on posting up to 4 times a day to grow an account? I have heard that too, and I'm like, who the hell needs to be watching me on 4 fucking videos a day? Like, I can't even stand myself to that point that I'm going to be subjecting people to this craziness.
It's such a good question, and thank you for asking this, because if you have the time to post 4 times a day, go for it. Like, if all you're doing is you're at home creating TikTok and that is like, that's what you're doing for a living, go for it. But if you have a life, please do not do this to yourself, because you're going to burn out. The thing is, yes, you are more likely to grow faster if you're posting more times a day, but like, what's the point of, growing super, super quickly if you're going to burn yourself out? So
Yeah.
when I always tell people to post consistently, but consistently means different things to different people. Maybe consistency for you is 2 times a week. That's how often I post on the Purpose Driven Latina TikTok. I don't post on there every day, especially because we're not in the middle of launching right now. So like, I don't need that stress. And so I try to post 1 time a day, but what I do recommend is bulk creating. So if you're going to do your makeup and you're going to do your hair, please record more than 1 video, because
best believe I'm doing some TikToks after this, y'all. So if you see the same look, that's what happens.
Love it. Yeah, so I hope that answers that question.
For sure. Yo, I always multitask when I put makeup on. I'm like, we're taking pictures, we'll film in a TikTok or 3. We're doing like some content creation, because this shit don't happen every day. Okay. All right. So it says here in the comments, how do you manage all the incoming deals? Do you have an agent?
Wait, I'm sorry. What was that question?
Do you have an agent for all these incoming deals that are coming to you in your DMs or your emails? Or are you like handling this yourself? Are you your own brand rep?
Yeah, I'm my own brand rep, and I'm not doing a very good job right now. So
that's real talk.
Yeah, I just started working with somebody with like around PR stuff, and she came at like the most perfect time, because I was about to respond to Akura, aka Acura, and this other brand deal that came up, and I would have been in some shit. So I'm really glad that she came up, because I forwarded the emails to her. So I might end up like working with her at some point, but it kind of is a lot now, because 170,000 followers is a lot. Even if I don't have like crazy engagement, I think when companies and brands see like, oh, she has a big following, let's try to reach out to her. I do get an influx of messages, and I just hired a virtual assistant as well. So I've been my own brand manager, and I haven't been doing the best job.
Yeah, I'm in that same boat. One thing that has helped me kind of focus in on what I'm doing as far as email and all that stuff, because that's usually where these deals come in. I have outsourced like all of the other administrative email responding to my assistant, because I'm literally only checking emails for people who are asking me to pay me. Cause I don't want to talk to nobody else. Like anybody else is to talk to my assistant.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, time is money, and if I'm going to spend time answering emails, there better be some fucking dollar bills in there. Anyways, that's my side rant. Okay, so what advice do you have for like content, like batching content, right? Do you put together like a schedule of what you're going to do for the week, for the month? Because this stuff takes a lot longer than like, just an Instagram post.
Yeah, so I use Trello. That's the project management system that I use. And I think this current series that I'm doing, I don't know if you've tried this before, but I really recommend multi-part videos, because remember that TikTok is like bite-sized content. It's small. So if you have, like, for example, 3 tips to start a side hustle, do a part 1, part 2, and part 3. Break that into little pieces, because remember what's valued is that retention. So if you make 3 15-second videos, that's probably going to do better than 1 45-second video. So super side note. So for those content creators and for you, I would recommend doing something like that, as well as series tend to do really well. So right now I'm doing a self-love series, a 21-day self-love series for February. And the way that I did that is I sat down after I was done journaling one morning, and I went into Trello, and I was like, all right, let's think about all of the topics around self-love. What is self-love? How do you love yourself? What's the research around self-love? What are the 4 different love languages, and how does that relate to self-love? How do we deal with like self-love versus like being conceited or self-centered, things like that. So like all the topics that came to my mind, and I wrote them all down. And I am now at day like 9, and I've also allowed myself to impulsively create videos, because sometimes, as much, I think it's good to plan, but I think it's also good to let creativity kind of like sneak in,
Yeah.
because creativity is like orgasm. You can't force it. You cannot force it. And like, you know,
No,
it's
that's
just like,
facts.
yeah, whenever you are in the moment, you have to take advantage. And if
Yeah.
that simply means going into your notes app on your phone and writing down like, hey, I have this like idea, I really do think it's important to use those moments. So plan for the times that you're not feeling creative, but allow yourself to be creative whenever it is that you are feeling creative. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that makes so much sense. Like some of the stuff that I kind of did on the fly because I was just feeling super inspired, like that's the shit that goes viral. And then like my
Exactly.
well curated content that's all fucking
Mm-hmm.
thought provoking and is gonna like send some big message. It's like nobody cares about this. So you have to like you gotta trust yourself, right? You have to
Yeah.
know that if a message is coming through you, it's because it's meant to be put out and you just gotta do it and follow it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like even, okay, so a bunch of people are quoting the, you know, like creativity is like an orgasm. Like that was one of the things that came to me. And I have a little Twitter post like waiting to post on my feed. I just haven't done it because I took a couple of days off. But and that was just one of those things I was like, oh my God, that's so true. Because I was trying to force myself to be creative and it wasn't working. And I was
Yeah.
like, this reminds me of something else. It just doesn't work that way.
That's the best analogy ever. Like I'm using that shit forever. Okay. So once you get to, I think, is it 1,000 followers, you can then put a link in your bio on TikTok. So what do you recommend us put, like, as far as putting something in there? Do you recommend like a link tree or recommend putting like a link to your most popular freebie? What do you think?
Yeah, so this is something that I'm currently working on, because I did have Linktree in there and something changed within the TikTok app. And now when you click on a Linktree, it gives you like this warning
Oh,
page, which means that people might not feel that comfortable going directly to your Linktree. So I know some creators have switched from Linktree to something else.
yeah.
And I believe Kat does like a landing page on her website that is kind of like her Linktree. I think that's probably the best thing to do, because not only do you get website traffic, but you also give people different options on what to do. With
Mm-hmm.
that being said, if you're in the middle of a launch, let's say you want people to buy a course of yours or something, put that link in there, especially if all of your videos are going to be about that particular launch, then I would
Yeah.
say do that. The one thing also about TikTok is that your videos are alive for a lot longer than an Instagram post. So normally with Instagram, you have 24 hours and that's kind of when you get the most engagement.
Mm-hmm.
But with TikTok, you'll find that things, I believe TikTok actually shared this, 90 days. Your videos have 90 days to get onto the For You page, to get onto people's feeds. So I have things that were asleep for, you know, weeks and weeks. And then they wake up and now I have like 17,000 views on it. So it's
So right.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so on TikTok, you can also put a cover sheet or a cover page for your TikToks. It is optional. Do you recommend it? And are there any best practices?
Hell yeah, do it.
Okay.
The reason is, if I go, like, let's say I watch one of your videos and I'm like, oh, I have to see what this girl's about. And then I go to your page and I just see a bunch of like, you know how you can kind of preview the videos and it's just like a little movement. If that's all
Yeah.
I see, I don't know what that video is about. But if it says, you know, something about side hustles or something about like high yield savings, am I saying that correctly? I don't know.
Yes. You got it.
Okay, then you can actually say, oh, okay, I want to learn more about that. People are more likely to spend time on your page if you have if you actually have covers on your video. But what I do is, for the first 2 seconds, I write down my title over the video. So whenever you click on it, you also see the title. Does that make sense? So I actually don't
Yeah.
use the cover. I use text within the first 2 seconds, and then I make that the cover slide.
Got it. All right. Let's see. What helps you create your content? Like, how do you get inspired?
Yeah, my own life challenges. It's
Mm,
funny that, and my clients. So A lot of the times, and I think a lot of content creators do this, but like our pain really does become our purpose. And whenever we go through something that is not so easy, we normally want to help other people with it as well. And I find that that's kind of what I do with my videos. Anything that I've learned along the way, I create videos on that. So like I really reflect on, okay, what helped me get to where I am and how can I create content out of that to help other people get to where I am as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things. Another thing that helps me create content is actually journaling because it gets my thoughts out of my head and onto paper.
Mm.
So as I'm journaling in the morning, that's like the one non-negotiable. I don't meditate every day. I try to, but I don't always do it. And I don't work out every day even though I try to. But journaling is always what happens. And whenever I am like, oh, this would be a good TikTok idea, I just write TikTok next to it and I circle it. So whenever I'm like actually starting my day, I go back and I'm like, okay, what was that idea? So I
Mm-hmm.
actually get a lot of ideas from that.
Okay, that's awesome. There's a question here in the comments that is asking, do you use any other apps to edit your videos? If so, what are your go-tos?
Yeah, I do. I use InShot, which is on my phone. I'll put it into the chat. It's just INS,
SH.
yeah,
Okay.
SHOT. And I did pay for the app. It's really affordable. And the reason that I like it on my phone is because I'm the best camera to use is the one that you have on you. So
Mm,
there's no need to use like a DSLR. If you have one and you're already used to using it, great. But
yeah.
the best camera is the one that you have on you. So meaning I record a lot of things on my phone and then I will use an outside app when I am doing things like B-roll. So whenever I'm doing a voiceover and then like you just see me in the background on a beach or something, or if I'm like journaling in those situations, I use an outside app. If I'm just talking to the camera, I use the TikTok app. There's no
Mm-hmm.
reason to go outside because they let you edit within.
Got it. Yeah, and I think, the beauty about TikTok is that we do enjoy it because of its imperfections. Like we're not
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok to watch like perfectly curated, edited YouTube videos. Like you go to YouTube for that.
Mm-hmm.
So don't focus so much on like, it has to be 1080 HD with like, 4K quality. Like it's not that serious. All right.
Agreed.
How do you feel about closed captions on your videos?
I think it's necessary because not only does it, so I'm all about diversity and inclusion and like being a Latina in tech. That was always a priority. But it's so funny that like everyone has blind spots, right? And I didn't really think about the deaf community. And there's actually a really big deaf community.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, okay.
You're good.
Your video froze, so I thought I froze. But okay, great. With yeah, there's a big community that can't can't put the volume all the way up. So by having closed captions, not only are you allowing more people to consume your content, but you're also giving the algorithm more opportunity to know what's in your video. So it also works like SEO.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right. It looks like we're having a little bit of a connectivity issue, but I think that's okay. Let's see. What are your thoughts on music with text versus speaking with text?
Yeah, this is more of a style thing. So there have been situations in which I've used pretty much music with text and the music's all the way up. And that's usually when I'm doing like a quick to the point video. So I'm trying to think of the last one that I did like this. I did one about Kamala Harris whenever she became the VP. And that one, like when the beat dropped, is when my message came up on the screen. And that one did really well because I combined the beat dropping with my kind of punchline with what the message was. And when I'm doing things where, like, for example, the self love series is all me speaking with text. And I do have music, but it's background music. So it doesn't really have lyrics because then you can't hear what I'm saying. And the reason is I'm talking about pretty profound things. I'm talking about, the difference between like self-love and like being narcissistic. And so those things, if I just use text, I don't think people would stick with me that long. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it really just depends on the style of video that you're going for.
Okay. And what about going live on TikTok? Is there value in doing that? And how is it kind of
Yeah.
different than what you do on Instagram?
So we at the moment can't do like the duo live thing, which I'm excited for that to happen at some point. But I actually have found that when I go live after posting a video, or if I have a viral video going and I go live, the video does even better. And I do think it's a great way to connect with people. Again, people are way more engaged than they are here, especially because people that don't follow you will see your live too. So people can start following you because of your live. That's actually one of the things that I do want to start making a priority for 2021. I'm trying to get on a schedule, but I do want to be consistent so that people can know, okay, at like this day at this time, Erika is going to be live. So if I want to like chat with her, I can go.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And so if you are a Side Hustle Mogul student, you're actually going to get to hang out with Erika because she's going to be coming to one of our group coaching sessions coming up. So one of the perks of being a part of my program, just saying, bringing on industry experts to answer all your questions. And so I want, before we hop off here, Erika, if you can tell us about your Grow on TikTok program and how folks can find out more about that.
Yes. So Grow on TikTok is a digital course that I launched in January. There's currently a wait list so that the next time I open the course, you'll be one of the first to know. But we go over everything from how to identify your target audience, identifying your niche, as well as identifying your why. We go into the best practices on TikTok, how to create valuable content, how to edit, as well as how to grow on TikTok.
Amazing. Erika, this has been such an eye-opening conversation. I know there's so many questions in here. So guys, if you don't already follow Erika, please make sure you do. She is the TikTok queen, teaching us how to get our shit together when it comes to using social media for more than just making superficial videos that nobody cares about. There's actually like a lot of value on focusing on some of these content platforms because, hey, you can end up quitting your job just because you started a TikTok account. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been such a fun conversation, and I'm looking forward to talking to your group.
Yes, I can't wait. And she's actually going to be on the podcast too, y'all. So you're going to get a lot more, Erika. Thank you so much, honey. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you. Have
Bye.
a good night. Bye.